You got to check this out. President Trump on the National Day of Prayer gives a tour of the White House to people of faith, the minister of faith, and Laurie takes us there, and it's exactly, and I'm going to share with you about a prophetic dream that God gave me. Check it out. Not a bird's eye view,
right?
But
not a bird's eye.
In the house,
inside
view.
look,
Right.
behind the scenes. That's
right.
what it is.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
So Laurie took us in behind the scenes because he went for the National Day of Prayer. He was invited to go there, and the president invited them to dinner into the White House, and you got a chance to walk around. I'm not going to say much about it. I'm going to let Greg take you on the tour of what takes place. I mean, everything's changing in Washington, D.C. Take a look.
I had a very exciting time last week going to our nation's capital and visiting the White House. So that was a lot of fun. So I have a few pictures I brought back, you know. So here's the White House from the outside, very familiar sight. We've all seen it from the outside. I'm inside the White House here. This is my friend, Pastor Jack Graham. He did a beautiful prayer the next day, the National Day of Prayer, Thursday, in the Rose Garden. Jack really is the guy who invited me to come to Texas for Harvest America at the AT&T Stadium. He's a good friend, so there he is. And this is the Faith Advisory Board. There's about 40 of us that have the privilege of serving and being able to pray for and offer advice to the president and the administration. This is a funny picture because we all just grabbed this, but look at how our ties are like the colors of the rainbow. I put this on social media and someone asked, did you guys coordinate this ahead of time? Yes. No, we didn't. Dr. Dobson, are you going yellow today? No. So there's Dr. Dobson on the right. Jack Graham next to him, Ronnie Floyd, and then me. So you got blue, pink, green, and yellow. How do you like that? That's inside the White House. This was a beautiful string section from the Marine Corps that was playing when you walked in. Any Marines out there? Yeah, these guys are good too. So wait, go back. Go back to the photo. Yeah, thank you. So they were playing and I wouldn't be so, presumptuous as to ask them to stop and pose, but one of the White House aides said, would you like to get a photo with them? I said, well, sure. And so they all stopped and smiled. It was very nice. So, and they're incredible musicians. Okay, next shot. This is Rent Priebus, who is the chief of staff. And I talked to him and he told me he listens to our radio program all the time. That was kind of surprising to me. So, and here's some more of the guys from the advisory board that were there for the meeting. And I think this may be the last shot. Let's go to the next one. And there's the Capitol building, beautiful shot from a distance. Okay, so here's what happened. I was asked to be in this board, right? I told you about this before, and I didn't know what it would entail or when we would meet. Well, finally we got a notice, and it was like about not even a week out. You're invited to the National Day of Prayer at the White House. Well, listen, the National Day of Prayer has not been observed in the White House for 8 years. Okay, this is important. Now, let me explain. President Obama did issue a decree telling Americans to observe it, but there was nothing in the White House. There was before, but there wasn't for 8 years, and it was back in the White House again, so of course, I wanted to go to that. And then I got another notice right on the heels of it. You're invited to have dinner with the president on Wednesday night. So I said, yes? Okay. So we got there and it was very exciting. I didn't know what it was going to be, but you go through all the security, obviously. And then you finally get into the grounds. And once you're in, you're in, and so we're standing there in the White House. And they take us into this small little dining room, and there are little tables. We would sit, maybe 7 of us at a table, and each table had a member of the administration with us. Now, Jack Graham and Franklin Graham, they got the president, but I didn't do bad. I sat with the vice president and his wife. And by the way, Vice President Pence, very nice man, strong believer, as you've heard, and Dr. Dobson was there as well, and some others, James Robinson. And so then the president got up and spoke to us for a while. And then we heard from a few others. The vice president spoke as well. And then Stephen Curtis Chapman was there. And he sang, and I, the best seat, he literally was right in front of me. So I just turned my seat around and pulled my iPhone out and filmed it. And if you want to see it, it's all on my social media. Go to my Facebook page, my Instagram page. I put his whole song up there, and it was fantastic. And then, so, you know, it's kind of wrapping up, and we're told the president might have to leave after a few minutes. He ends up hanging out with us for like 3 hours. It just went on and on. I think he was having a good time. So then we're done with dinner. And by the way, the meal was fantastic. My wife said, "What did you eat?" Okay. So we had a wonderful salad to start. I'm forgetting what kind. I think it was a shrimp salad, a little bit of steak, small little steak, vegetables, a dessert, sort of a chocolate mousse thing. I don't know if you care, but some people ask me this. So, but it was a great meal. And so we're all done, and then the president stands up and says, "Okay, would any of you like to go see the Lincoln bedroom?" We're like, "What?" "Yes." So I think this is outside of protocol, because normally people are not taken up to the second floor where the family has their private quarters. So there's like, he's leading us, telling us about the paintings on the wall, and we're 40 of us are going up the stairs. We were reduced to being like little children. We're just like, all of us were excited, of course, and we're walking on the hallway, and there's portraits of presidents and first ladies, and then we go into the Lincoln bedroom, and there's this large bed. I'm not sure if the president ever slept there, President Lincoln, but it was, and then there's a desk, and this is where President Lincoln wrote the Gettysburg Address. Like, what, you know? And then there's a portrait of him on the wall, and President Trump said that was President Lincoln's favorite portrait of himself. Then we're all just standing there, taking it in. He says, "It's cool, huh?" We're all like, "Yeah, it's totally cool." So then we came back downstairs, and the little Marine Corps string section was playing still. Oh, one other thing, we went out in the Truman balcony, and you can see the Washington Monument, beautiful night, and the president's taking selfies with people. I mean, this was like crazy. It was, and I talked to a few that have been there before. Dr. Dobson's been to the White House a number of times. He knew President Reagan pretty well, and he said, "I've never seen anything like this before." You know, so even he was amazed. So that was just a fantastic night. The next day, we're in the Rose Garden. Stephen Curtis Chapman sings again. He sang the Lord's Prayer. That's posted on my social media if you want to see it. And then Pastor Jack prayed, others prayed. It was just an amazing time.
That's so exciting, seeing an inside view of what's taking place. And you think about it, for 8 years, President Obama did not have that in the White House. As a matter of fact, there was Ishtar dinners.
Oh, yes.
For Islam, and there was the Muslim Brotherhood, you know, coming in, part of the even Homeland Security Advisory, which is the antithesis of Christianity, you know, because Christianity says Jesus Christ is the Son of God. When you see Naftali in Israel, our unofficial field reporter, he's a believer in the Messiah. Jesus Christ is the Messiah. He's a Messianic Jew. He loves Jesus. He loves Israel. He loves his fellow Jews. He's Jewish. And so this is a big deal. I mean, the fact that they're inviting, you know, Christianity, and I can't wait. We're going to still do it, even though it's not Easter. We're going to bring you Easter from the White House. It was like Disneyland is Easter in regards to all this cabinet officials sitting down, reading books to children, and they're hiding eggs. The whole White House lawn was just covered with just celebration. Beautiful. It was very beautiful. It was like it was picture perfect, the way that Easter used to be, you know, with families and all that. And so that was in the White House. I mean, God saw the White House celebrating his son's resurrection.
I don't think in all history of American politics and presidency, there's ever been that many Christians inside the personal residence of the president.
You remember,
you know there was prayer there. You know there had to be prayer.
Well, you remember the Lord told me in October the 3rd, 2016. He told me before that whoever the president was going to be, it was going to be a friend of the church and friend of Christians. But in October 3rd, he told me it's going to be President Donald Trump. He's going to be the president. And what he showed me with him being president was that he was going to invite everybody into the White House. It's the people's house. So he was in the place was just packed out with every person, citizen you can imagine. I was shocked about
every background, right?
Yeah, everybody was coming in, and it was just so welcome. And he's just like your uncle or something. They say, "Come on in, take a look at this. It's pretty cool, isn't it?"
Yeah.
And it just feels. It's been so long since normal's been around. It's like we're just grateful, for normal. When God said the seed of evil was going to come down, and the seed of the righteous is going to rise, it didn't. There was nothing in the headlines. There was nothing that you could see
on the horizon. Right?
And then we're seeing things shift. I mean, we saw the elections take place in November. We saw, news anchors get pulled out of their seats. We're watching Bill O'Reilly get removed from Fox News, and then we're watching Jim Comey, the leader of the FBI, the director of FBI, get suddenly just replaced. And it's like, but God said He was going to begin to replace basically Cindy Jacobs literally saw a vision where God's going to drain the swamp. He's literally, and it's not calling people evil. There's political strongholds that have held our country in a place, and they're just okay with it. And God's not okay with it, because look where that brought us. It brought us to the point where you don't have prayer in school. You have people pushing God out of the square. You have people taking down the 10 Commandments. We had that on the program where they're coming in at midnight, right?
Oh, yeah.
In Oklahoma, I believe it was.
Alabama.
Alabama and Oklahoma in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's right, Oklahoma, yeah.
And they did it with a crane in the middle of the night to take down the 10 Commandments. Well, now you have a president and a government that's saying, we want to put it all back up. That's exciting, isn't it?
It's very exciting. In fact, the president just signed a new executive order to protect religious liberties, and says under his watch, there's no Christians are going to be persecuted.
Well, that's the Johnson Amendment, where it was Senator, I believe, Lyndon Johnson, that got this thing on in 1957 called the Johnson Amendment, that basically locked up a narrative saying that if you are a Christian organization, you cannot express yourself politically. And he committed to do that. He signed that executive order and said, we will not prosecute, to back off. It's not clear to the point where it says just knock it off. But it's a very exciting. A lot of leaders are very excited about it.
They're encouraged by it. They believe it's the first step, and there's more to come. And I believe it.
Yeah. Well, we had Franklin Graham that's behind it. You had other
Jack Graham
that's behind it. The leaders of the First Baptist, or the Southern Baptist Association was there, and it's exciting to see it take place. And these are answer to prayers. But we have to, when you see an advancing army, basically, and you see things taking place, you don't just sit back and watch it. You move forward. You begin to speak it out. You begin to agree with it. Victory comes when we say we move into the victory. You literally got to move into the victory. So I want to encourage you.
Can't sit on the sidelines.
Don't sit back and watch it on TV. What you hear on TV is marching orders to go out and get involved in what's going on and show support for those who stand up for our country, for Constitution, and for God. Thank you for watching VFN TV. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. A lot of people want to abide with the Lord, but they just don't have a plan to do it. You can request that plan today at iabide.org. Don't forget you can join us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download our app and sign up for our newsletter, The Torch, at vfntv.com.